they're getting up there like, that's like 72 rolls. And now I'm like in the grocery store, I'm working on, for them, I'm like, babe, yeah, this toilet roll costs $200, but I'm crunching the numbers here. Each square is as thick as War and Peace. That's like 60,000 rolls. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's my inflation bit. Thank you for listening to that. Are you guys ready to start the show? Amazing. Okay. Yeah, so just to, you know, in case you wandered in off the street, if you're not the friend and family of someone here, this is a student show. This is Stand Up Level 1. This is their very first time doing stand-up in front of an audience. Isn't that cool? Yeah. And they were a little nervous, and I said to them, don't worry, everybody out here wants you to succeed. Everyone wants to show you a lot of love, so don't make a liar out of me, and give a nice warm welcome to our first act. Please give a warm welcome to Yusuf!
Thank you all for coming out, taking a trust in us. My name is Yusuf Maxi. I've been in therapy for a bit, and I'm not sure if it's working. It started at the beginning of this year. I got laid off, and well, I didn't get laid off. That's the story I told people. I told people I got laid off because economy is doing bad and people can have sympathy for you, but I got fired. So it's fine. And then a month later, me and my ex-girlfriend, we broke up. The thing I took away from her is like she waited a month after my job loss. I think that takes a lot of love. I think the pity she had for me, honestly, I feel like that's the most love I've ever felt in my life. But to start my story, I feel like the reason I went into therapy and it took me so long is like, in my culture, I'm from Pakistan, we don't go to therapy. If I told my parents, I'm thinking of going to therapy, they're gonna say, are you doing drugs? As if I was a white kid and I told my parents I'm doing drugs. Like, it's just like they take it a personal attack on them. So I didn't tell my parents. And it was hard for me to like start therapy because I felt like I need it, but I can't like really like get going on this. But I also don't want to go back out there knowing that there's a connection there where I'm like missing, not seeing some important pieces. So I ended up asking my sister for advice. She's like, maybe you don't want to culturally appropriate. It is a white people thing. You feel like you're brown, you can't go to therapy. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm like, you're right, because I gave my ex-girlfriend, she's white by the way, I gave her our mother's butter chicken recipe. I think I have right to enjoy this and it will not be culturally, appropriation. So I started my first therapy session and like, I showed up with my problems and my therapist was like shaking her head. She's like, yeah, you sound like a classic avoidant case. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And she's like, well, you'll figure it out. We'll work through it. It's not easy stuff, but you're here. That's the first step. So then, at the end of the day, like I knew there was no other answer, so I just started to have sessions twice a week. I don't know what that's called. So the point being is like after I had like one session, I just started to see her twice a week, and we ended up making a lot of progress. And the moment I noticed progress, I understood what avoidant was. It essentially means you're constantly fearful of rejection. You almost feel like you're inadequate, and if things are starting to go good, you will self-sabotage because you're so uncomfortable with having good. I mean, it makes sense. Like I could see why. So as soon as we had a few sessions and we started making progress, I'm like, I think I'm ready to see a coach. I feel like I'm done with therapy. And she's like, classic. So point being was like, I wanted to like, enjoy my life. I was enjoying my life. I was unemployed, no job, no girlfriend, no purpose. Woke up, I was a full-time stay-at-home cat dad. And I think as a avoidant, that's a dream, right? Like maybe even as a man, it's a dream. Like, I feel like I really loved it. That 1 month of that turned into fucking 5 months. And enjoying comedy and avoiding going back into accounting, right? So, I'm here trying to be a fucking comedian. Which accountant is funny? There's no funny in money, right? So anyways, going back to like, what progress have I noticed? I don't know if I'm noticing any progress. I feel like my therapist really helped me notice that you have to be in presence. So almost like I wake up Sunday morning, I have to fucking sit like this. I'm like, no thoughts, just present. And you know what? It does work. It's all the small stuff that we ignore every day. It really does work, because the moment I was present, I noticed that church bell was going off. I noticed birds. I noticed that the condo across the street actually had been done, finished constructing. Like there were people that actually moved in. And I'm here like self-pleasuring and didn't put my blinders. And I'm like, shit, I need to be more present. And then moving forward, I'm like, okay, I'm just not ready to go back out there. She's like, what's the issue? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, you know what? Next time an opportunity comes, don't reject it. Just be curious. I'm like, all right, I'll try. You can trust me. She didn't, but I felt like I had to say that to myself. So I got a call the next morning, and the guy goes like, hello. I'm like, hello. Hi, this is John from Canada Revenue Agency, calling regarding your owed taxes. I'm unemployed. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so you owe us $5,000, and if we do not receive a payment by the end of the day, we will be sending warranted police officers at your door. And I'm like, oh, I know this guy sounds like Jamal from back home. I feel like I have to be curious. I promised my therapist I can't just let opportunities go. Hello, are you there? Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, John, how much do I owe you? Said $5,000, but if you pay today, it's $1,000. That's the discount we're applying today. Okay, sure. I'll go ahead and take that $1,000. By the way, just out of curiosity, I'm actually jobless. What are the career prospects in your organization? Are you like, what is your promotion structure like? Are you guys like hiring maybe? And we had a really good conversation. By end of it, he said he will be referring me to his manager. I sent him my resume. I'm waiting to hear back. That's how much I've changed in therapy. I appreciate that. Last but not least, I was never ready for a job loss. I was not ready for a breakup, but I also was not ready for a fucking therapist going on a vacation. I'm like, no one prepares you for that. My therapist told me, hey, I'm going on a vacation. And I was like my corporate boss. I'm like, we're at the peak of my healing. You cannot leave right now. And she said, boundaries. You need to learn boundaries. And that's when I learned. When I get a new job, I'm gonna tell my manager, journal about it. You cannot reject my vacation. When I get back, we'll talk about your feelings. Point being, it's about boundaries. Last but not least, my name is Yusuf Maxi. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Keep going for Yusuf. Yeah. We're off to the races. Are we ready for our next act? Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. All right, keep that energy up and give a warm welcome to Jeff.
Thank you. It's great to be here in Toronto. Yes, the best city in the GTA. My name is Jeff Cottrell, and as you can probably tell from the movie t-shirt, the dork beard, and the Kermit the Frog-esque voice, I am not a corporate type. And yet, my day job is in marketing, because we live in a very silly world. So, I work alongside a lot of really excruciatingly boring business people. And these suits have no imagination sometimes, even when they're naming their companies. You'd think they'd want to stand out, but no, sometimes they don't even try. One of our old clients was a supply firm in Markham called Process Instruments and Components. By the time I finish this sentence, you will forget that name. Process Instruments and Components, that's just what they sell. If they took 5 seconds of effort, they could have called it Waka Waka Floopy Bloop Bloop Instruments and Components. And you'd say, that's a stupid name, but it's memorable. There's a grocery chain called Food Basics. Food Basics. What does that mean? Welcome to Food Basics. Over here, we got your seeds. Seeds for planting. You do the planting. Over here, we got your live chickens. Chickens for slaughtering. You do the slaughtering, we just give you the basics. Sometimes slogans can be lazy too. I use a shuttle firm in Toronto that has the slogan, "Start here, get there." That's just the literal definition of transportation. That's like Nike saying, "Put on feet, run." Or Pepsi, "Drink this, get diabetes." Sometimes they miss the totally obvious. There's a grocery rewards app called Fetch. I am really disappointed that they don't use the slogan, "Make fetch happen." What about Lay's potato chips? It's right there in the name, people. Get laid. Hey, baby. Would you like to come over for some Lay's? Get laid. Now there's a concert venue in the beach area called History. Now that is an interesting name, History. It's not without its drawbacks though. A couple of weeks ago, I went to the food truck festival in the area with a few friends. One of them suggested we meet in the park just behind that concert hall. And I said, "Are you sure you want to do that? Because if we meet there, we will be quite literally on the wrong side of history." Yeah, and sometimes names are just baffling. You may have heard of a tire chain called OK Tire. OK Tire. Okay, first of all, that sounds like something that a hubcap would say to a tire that's being really patronizing. OK Tire. Secondly, OK Tire? So it's not great tire. It's not fantastic tire. It's not even good tire. The tires are just okay. Would you trust a haircut from mediocre barber? Would you feel safe in a car from We Tried Our Best Motor Company? Fly Competent Airlines. Oh wait, we have that. That's Porter. I think I figured out how OK Tire stays in business though. They have an infallible sales technique called tire blackmail. Let's say you're doing an important cross-country drive and you get a flat outside of Upper Queensbury, New Brunswick, but you forgot to bring a spare. So you rush over to the only tire store in town. "I need a new tire now, a good one." "Oh, we don't have good ones, eh? Our tires are okay." "Okay won't do. I have to be in Saskatoon by Thursday. I need a good, strong tire that can handle the trip." "Well, our tires were just okay." "Where do I get a good tire?" Closest would be Fredericton, eh?" "That's an hour east. I need a new tire to get to Fredericton." "What?" "OK Tire, I'll get you to Fredericton." "I don't want an OK Tire." "Well, suit yourself, that's all we got, eh?" "Okay, so I need the OK Tire to get the good tire." "That's about the size of it, eh?" "And the good tire will get me to Saskatoon?" "No. The good tire will get you to Montreal. In Montreal, you get the great tire. The great tire will get you to Thunder Bay. And there you get the fabulous tire, which, that's how they get you. That's how they get you. The only way to get out of that spiral is to fly Competent Airlines. Competent Airlines. We don't always crash. Thank you. My name is Jeff Cottrell. Thank you. I have a book for sale. Please ask me about my novel, Hate Story. Thank you.
Keep going for Jeff. You catch that? He's a novelist. He's written a novel. That's pretty cool. Have you written a novel? No. Me neither. What are we doing? Essays. Okay. Oh, so you're in school. How's that going? Is that fun? Slow? Are you back in the classes? Does that suck? Did you like it better when you could just sleep? Are your parents here? You're like, no, I love the in-person. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry to bother you. How we feeling? We feeling good? Nice. We're rolling here. I'm gonna keep this energy going and bring up your next comic. Please give a warm welcome to a very funny lady, Beck.
Hello, my name is Madeline Beckett, but I go by Beck because I have an individuality complex. I spent a lot of my young life struggling with a pretty severe eating disorder. Thank you very much. It's really okay though. It's a lot more common than people think. Like I learned a statistic recently. If you look to the person sitting on your left and then the person sitting on your right, if either of those people are women, they've had an eating disorder. I'm lucky I don't suffer from it anymore. I've been through recovery. The only real side effect I have now is my height. I'm only 5'3". Thank you. It can be a bit of a bitch, but if this starts going horribly, I can kill myself by jumping off that stool, which is really helpful. I had a dietitian tell me when I was in recovery that I actually could reach a normal, healthy height if I started eating regularly, which was kind of a cool thing to hear. I was really self-conscious about my height. So I thought maybe that would be the day that I made a change, that I ate my lunch that day at school instead of my caffeine pills. I was hooked on caffeine pills when I was in like the 9th grade, which is objectively the lamest drug you can be addicted to. Like, I mean, besides weed. I can't judge. I do like weed. I do like drugs. I haven't done a lot of drugs, if you believe that. I haven't done a lot of drugs, but the ones I do very enthusiastically. I mostly blame my education, though. I think my school kind of explained like drugs and sex to us in the same way, which was like 80% of outdated science, about 20% of a shame that I will die with, and like no actual helpful information for what to do when anything was inside of me. Our version of DARE was basically a subject in computer lab where they gave you a list of substances and you had to pick one and do a PowerPoint presentation on it, which is essentially asking a bunch of 7-year-olds what their drug of choice is. Like, guys, I really hope recess was fun, but Susie, are you thinking we're gonna be more of an uppers or a downers girl? Tell me your parents are getting a divorce, you really wanna pay attention to this part. I don't think it was very effective. Like, I don't think me putting like a kaleidoscope effect on a slide about overdose statistics really got the message across. I think we should be more realistic about it, that people are like gonna try drugs, and we should inform them that it's okay, but where the line is, and how like thin you should cut it. I wouldn't consider myself addicted to any drugs, because alcohol is not a drug. It's a food group. It's what my mother taught me. My parents had what they attempted as a European approach to alcohol, which was basically letting me try like little bits and introduce it slowly in my childhood, because that would help demystify it. So like a little glass of wine here and there was fine, like when my mother was pregnant with me, same concept. But yeah, the idea was, it was like in Europe, they let kids drink young, so it demystifies it, it's not as exciting, there's no allure. Which is true, Europeans do that. Europeans are also alcoholics. It did demystify alcohol for me. It demystified the fact that alcohol is fucking incredible. It demystified how to get through social interactions. Demystified the concept of joy in general. I have dealt with a lot of mental health stuff throughout my life. I have hit rock bottom so hard that it's turned into a diamond before. But I think that coming from my position who's dealt with it a lot, I think you have to be really supportive to other people who've dealt with it. Like when my friends are dealing with things, I always like to be really supportive, and I always tell them, it's like, I will be there for you. I will always let you go first in our double suicide. Thank you very much, guys. I have been back.
Kick over back. Yeah! Let's pump that music so big. Oh yeah. Feel free to do a backflip, dude. I know you can. We're getting wild. Okay. All right. I'm just so excited because your next comic is also extremely funny. Have you noticed a pattern? They're all really funny, and you're having a great time. Yeah, baby. All right, please give a warm welcome to your next comic, Meredith.
Hi everyone, my name is Meredith Holland. For those of you that know me personally, hi. For those of you that don't, I'm 22 years old and I have an old soul in a young person's body. So my name doesn't quite suit my age, but it certainly suits my personality. Most people in my age bracket will say, "Oh my God, where's the beer keg? Let's party! Woo!" But I will say, "Where's the wine and what's the best food to pair with this?" And of course, a lot of you will probably forget my name because it's Welsh. I'm not Welsh, but it's hard to spell. So if you forget, think about Grey's Anatomy or Taylor Swift's cat. Speaking of Taylor Swift, dating is hard when men do the bare minimum. On Hinge, a guy will swipe right on your profile after he's looked at your pictures, what you're interested in, and maybe what you're trying to get out of the app. Are you going to delete it, or are you just there for a good time? So I decided to solve this problem with a one-size-fits-all solution, using inspiration from a guy's profile to hit on him. So the following opening pickup lines are going to be great for those of you ladies in the audience who are Bumble users. If you ever come across a horticulturalist or a farmer, you can say, "What's the best fertilizer to grow this relationship?" If you come across a financial analyst, which, by the way, there's a difference between a financial analyst and a finance bro. We'll circle back to that in a second. If you work in finance, you must be worth the investment. If he is a software engineer, you can ask him, "Hey, what's the code to your heart?" So, it sounds basic, but a lot of guys don't do this. That being said, it's even harder for dating when you're a girl like myself with ridiculously high standards. It sounds funny, but it's true. And here's why. There are a lot of things that are icky about guys. Let's see. Mommy issues, unemployed. Too many tattoos and piercings to the point it looks awful. We all know the kind on a dating app. They're a military guy and they make it loud and clear. "Look at me! I have a job! Yay!" Okay, but what else do you do with your life? And here in Fuckboys, which for my older people in the audience, that means a player. They don't care. People that just won't bother putting in the effort. Guys that make fishing their primary personality trait. "Look at me! I caught a fish! What a great trophy!" Okay, well, go off. Okay, fine. And these are all those things that dating coaches don't necessarily want you to know. Here's the irony. I could use a dating coach because I suck at spotting red flags. I just convert them all to green flags. For those of you that don't know me, I wear glasses, but I don't have them on today. I might as well be colorblind to dating because I should have color correcting glasses so I can convert a red flag into a green flag. Oh wait, backwards, my bad, other way. Here's an example. A guy I was recently going out with is from Ireland. And I was like, you know what? He's actually a pretty good guy. But I chose to ignore the red flag. He goes to med school in Ireland. My brain was like, wait, let me just fix that. Green flag! Med school! He has ambitions! Great! Woo! It seems that a lot of guys would rather prefer a girl who just keeps their mouth shut and agrees with whatever he wants to do or say. Unfortunately, I'm a very serious person who loves academia with no shame and is a massive nerd. And I like being financially independent, so it seems that guys don't like that. Despite all of my frustrations about male stupidity stemming from my ridiculously high standards, I keep finding myself thinking, if I'm Juliet, why haven't I found Romeo yet? Not to pull a Taylor Swift or anything, but I can and I just did. My name is Meredith. Thank you for listening.
Keep it going for Meredith. Oh man, she's right about dating, eh? It's just like, whew, I'm so glad that my days of showing up